What's going on? What's going on, YouTube? So, BT6 Double Diamond is out, and I need to quickly start going over some of these decks. And the first one I'm going to go over, I think, is the most prevalent one in the meta right now, and that is the Red Jesmon line. I'm going to do things a little bit different today. I think in the past what I've done is I've gone through decks, told you about, like the splits for not only levels, but certain cards in the deck. Today I want to do something a little bit, I'm going to tweak it a little bit, let me put it that way. I want to show off the main cards, like the core cards in the deck, and then that's really it. I want to show you how the deck is supposed to function, and then really after that, everything else is just preference in my opinion. So I'm going to let you guys do what you do best, which is build decks, but I'm going to give you some info for the core cards to actually make the deck function. Let me know if you like it in the comments below. If not, we'll switch it back to the regular format. If you do like it, then maybe we'll do this a little bit more often. But let's hop right into it. So again, we're taking a look at the Red Jesmon line for BT6, and I want to start off with the core cards, which are, first off, Huckmon, level 3. It's a good boy. He's a searcher on play. He lets you look at the top 5 cards of the deck, and you can grab between Digimon and Huckmon, Sistermon, or Jesmon. You can grab 2 cards. So he's a really efficient searcher, and in a lot of cases, you actually want to play him raw rather than just digivolving him in your raising area. Next up, you got your level 4 Bao Huckmon. Now this guy, not very impressive. He's kind of expensive to evolve for level 4. Not really impressive stat lines, but his inheritance effect is what you're really looking for. Being able to destroy Digimon with less than 5,000 DP on your opponent's side of the board if you have a Sistermon out on the field is really good. And we'll talk a little bit more about this effect once we hit the Sistermons as well. Your level 5, this is going to be your Savior Huckmon. On play, he lets you basically play a Sistermon from your hand for free, which is not bad. It's good to start to get the Sistermons out once you before you get to Jesmon. But additionally, on attack, this is crazy. If you have a Sistermon out on the board, it allows you to restand this Digimon, which is kind of strong for a red Digimon. I don't think red has had a lot of options to restand in the past, and this is the first where they've gotten to do that. And this is one of the reasons I think Jesmon is so strong. But yeah, Savior Huckmon, great card. Again, kind of expensive to evolve, but for your boss stack, it's worth it. And then finally, the boy himself, Jesmon. Now this guy on Digivolve has no effects, but if you get those 3 those 3 memory, and you can swing in the same turn, he lets you drop a Sistermon from your hand or trash, which means that if your Sistermon gets destroyed during the match for whatever reason, they go to the trash. If he attacks, he can just bring them back for free. So you basically have infinite Sistermons as long as this guy can attack. Additionally, if you did drop a Digimon, you hard played a Digimon this turn, that includes the Sistermon that you drop from the on attack effect, he gains piercing plus 3,000. So he becomes a 14,000 DP piercer, which means he's checking security even if he destroys Digimon. Really strong. And he also drops a Sistermon, so he's also multiplying himself on the board in some degree. Not multiplying himself, but good, I mean. So all those effects seem pretty okay, but once you put them all together, he basically is a Digimon who's able to attack, becomes a 14k, drops at least one other body on the board, removes a 5,000 or lower DP Digimon, which is the stat line of cheap blockers, might I add, for most colors, and then restand and do it all over again. That makes him incredibly potent. And in red, where you can gain security attack off of random effects or various effects, this makes him really, really scary. Let's take a look at some of the Sistermon cards that help him kind of stay around and become sticky on the board. The first one is Casual Flex right here. You got the alternate art Sistermon Blanc, level 3. On both turns, if you have a Royal Knights as well as Jesmon or Huckmon, all of your Sistermon on the board get blocker. Additionally, whenever she's played, hard played, you draw a card. So from Jesmon's effect, you can gain some card advantage here by actually being able to draw a card if you play the Blanc out and get blockers up. The second one I want to talk about is Sistermon Noir. Unfortunately, no flex here, but still a pretty good effect. She's got, if Royal Knights or a Jesmon a Huckmon are on the board, they all get plus 2,000 DP. And when she's played, memory plus 1. So you have the option of either going up in memory with Noir or up in card advantage with Blanc. I think in a lot of cases you're going to want to go with Blanc just because you need the blockers out, but if you're attacking 2 times in a turn, that means you can play both of these because of Jesmon's effect. So yeah, why not have the best of both worlds? Which also keep in mind, when Sistermon Noir hits the board, he goes from a 14K to a 16K Digimon, and there are very few things in security that can actually stop him. Let's take a look at some of the options for the Jesmon line, and the only option that really fits this guy is Tekken's Seibite, which roughly translates to Iron Fisted Judgment or something like that. It's kind of a hard translation, but that's the best I got. Basically, if you have a Huckmon or a Royal Knight on the board, that Digimon can attack other active Digimon, which means nobody is safe. And let's not forget that Jesmon here gets piercing whenever he attacks and you drop a Sistermon. So even if you're not targeting security specifically, you're still able to target security by targeting Digimon. So on security, if this card gets checked for security, basically if you have a Sistermon in your hand or in the trash, you can play it for free, and then this card goes to your hand. So not bad either way. You get a bite on the board, you get a potential +1 memory, which might actually tip it over to your turn, which is good. Gives you a little bit of card draw, and you get this card in your hand for when you get your Jesmon out onto the board. Alright, so that's most of the actual Jesmon support line. Just using these cards here, you can pretty much fill out a deck. Now there are some cards that you might want to add in just to round out that 50 card limit that you need. And here are my choices. I think other players have some other choices, and if you guys have some things that I don't talk about here below that you either A, think are really good, or B, wish I would talk about more in a different video, let me know in the comments below. But anyway, really quickly, I've got the BT1 Tai Tamer card. It's always good being able to go to 3 memory. That means that whenever you actually get Jesmon out, you can swing on a turn because you'll start with 3 and go to 0 when you digivolve into Jesmon. Additionally, if you keep your boss stack in your raising area for the game, that means you'll have a baby Digimon under it, and that means it has 4 cards for sources, which means that Tai gives him +1 security attack. So +1 security attack on a Digimon that can attack 2 times in a turn is pretty much all of your opponent's security. Speaking of security attack +1s, we've got the starter deck Greymon, Inheritance, security attack +1. Now if you have this plus tile on your boy here, old Jesmon, you basically clear all of your opponent's security in a single turn. We in OTK territory, man. Moving right along with the +1 security archetype, or not archetype, but support is Volkdramon, which on Inheritance, like Greymon, has security attack +1. So now you're taking out 8 security in a turn. Now you're typically not going to run into 8 security, but yellow might be a thing at some point, where they're just like recovering like crazy. So that's what he's there for. And then finally, let's imagine you're, wiping, 4 security with your Jesmon. One of your Sistermon can attack. How do you end the game? Well, you finish off the old game with old Omegamon here, who has Blitz, which means you can make your attack. You can wipe your opponent's security down to 0, and then to end your turn off, even though you're gonna you're gonna tip the memory over in your opponent's favor, you play old Omegamon here, he restands and he can attack before your opponent's turn starts, and you can typically just end the game that way. He does have the effect where, he can't be, removed by an effect. You can just discard the Jesmon under him to do that, but typically this is your actual closer. I don't include a lot of these in the deck, but I do keep a couple in there, just by around 2 or 3. Usually 2, just so that if I have him in hand, I can end the game. I'm going to end the game right then and there. And with a draw engine like old Sistermon Blanc here, to help keep the cards flowing, you're typically going to run into this guy unless he's in your security stack, in which case, great security stack. So that's the whole Jesmon line. I'll talk about this in a different video, but this is currently the strongest deck in the archetype in the Japanese meta, and I'm basing that completely off of just tournament results alone. Whether you think Jesmon is strong or not, I don't think there's a lot of people who argue against that, but tournament results speak for themselves. He has, I think in most tournaments, just himself, I think he has more than 30 tournament wins. So yeah, keep in mind some of these are smaller tournaments, but 30 wins is 30 wins, you know. Anyway, that's it. I'm gonna finish up here. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like the video, do me a favor, hit the subscribe and like button for more content like this in the future. Yeah, let me know how you thought or what you thought about the format, where I just kind of give you some of the combo pieces and then that's really it. From there, you can kind of build stuff around it. I think that's a great way to facilitate discussion in the comments about what people think might be useful. I've seen some really interesting builds with things like Royal Knights, things like Craniumon, maybe a little bit of red-black action going on with Jesmon line as far as support's concerned. But yeah, I want to let you guys do the building, and I'll just kind of give you some of the puzzle pieces already put together. Anyway, thanks again, guys. I'll catch you next time, and yeah, be good.